They love seats of honor in synagogues. I'm not done. They widen their phylacteries and lengthen their tassels. Call no one on earth your father. Clearly, somewhere along the line in the last 2,000 years, somebody didn't get the memo, right? Somehow we've created this clerical class that we put up on a pedestal for no real good reason. And I wore this thing's like made for a gorilla, or at least somebody much bigger than me, just so I could have my props. So I found the widest phylactery and the longest tassels I could find in there. That's another story, but it's a story related, I think, though, to why we're here today, and an important call to us during this Lenten season, right? And it comes down to a very basic question that's incredibly important. Why do we do what we do? Why do we do what we do? Not what do we do, but why do we do what we do? I think that's what Jesus is getting at today. Right? In my last assignment, they had a soup kitchen, which was open one day a week. Already you see the problem, right? Most of us have a nasty habit of liking to eat at least once a day, right? A soup kitchen that's open one day a week is just a show. It doesn't really help anybody, really. I'm sure it makes those people who run it feel good about themselves, but I'm not sure that it helps anybody beyond that, other than the person who might have been about to drop dead of starvation that day, which seems unlikely. Why do we do what we do? Right? An important question. And Jesus gets down to the nub of it, and at the very end, whoever exalts himself will be humbled, whoever humbles himself will be exalted. Why do you do what you do? If we do things out of service and love for one another, right? If we really grapple with the world in which we live and not just go and mess in other people's worlds, right? That's what the Lord is calling us to. And why? Because you are all brothers and sisters. Right? We are all united. We are all united. There is no better or worse. We're all in the same boat, right? We're all part of the one race, the human race. Right? And we're called to help in the world in which we find ourselves, right? To serve other peoples in our world and not treat other peoples as if that's another world out there. Right? I can feel good about myself if I help the world out there. And maybe I'm not even really helpful, but I feel good about myself. But if I can really live life in the world in which I find myself, that's different. That's what the Lord is calling us to, I think. Challenging us to live lives of service and humility with the people which we find ourselves with. Right? Because we can't change the world. The best we can do is hopefully change ourselves, and even that we can't really do. Right? St. Paul tells us, right? I know what I'm supposed to do, but I don't do it. right? I don't even, and he says, adds to that, I don't even judge myself. That's not my job. All I can do is open myself to God's grace. And hopefully part of that, God's grace, is to see that we're all united. There's nobody better or worse than anybody else. That hopefully we can take care of one another and serve one another. Again, not out of a quest to feel good about ourselves, but out of true humility, out of true service, out of an awareness that the other is not out there, but is my brother or sister. We ask God's help with that today, to help us, and Lent is a worthy time for us to reflect upon that. Again, why do we do what we do? What we do is not all that important, really. Think back to, the great saint, the little flower, Therese of Lisieux, right, in her little way. Right? Here was a woman who lived in a cloistered convent, right? She had this great desire to go out and be a great missionary, but that's not where God led her, right? He led her to a relatively small community that just lived close together. But even in that environment, there were opportunities constantly, right, to help, right? Even picking something off the ground or helping somebody in a simple way is a way of living out the gospel. So we ask the Lord to help us with that, to reflect not just about what we do, but about why we do it.